Alright, guys. So welcome to the group. So, like I said, I'm gonna making a lot of information videos for you guys, so that you can really understand what this game is all about and how you can make money from it. So, first of all, Sorare is a fantasy game. So, if you're already familiar with games like Fantasy Premier League, La Liga FPL, Bundesliga Fantasy, you probably already understand what fantasy is all about. But if you're just reading about it for the first time, I'm going to explain it. So, fantasy is basically you having a team, then you're going to have players in that team, then the reward performances of those players, like when they keep clean sheets, when they give assists, or when they score, on those kind of things, is going to count as points for your team, right? So, those points are going to be added up, right? And you're going to be participating in competitions, you're going to be able to win prizes. If those players can have good performances, that's going to mean higher points for your team, right? So that's basically what fantasy is all about, and that's basically what Sora is all about. But the twist with Sora is like you actually do own the players, right? You actually do own the players that are in your team. Okay, so in Sora you're actually dealing with cards, right? You know, in fantasy you just go to the transfer and you get players, but here you're actually dealing with cards. And when you once you have a player card, you actually own that player card, right? It's for you. You can sell it, you can do all other things with it. And that's what makes it very, very unique. And that's how you can make money from it. Alright. So, like I said, you're going to have players. We have different types of players, like hundreds and thousands of players on the Sorare app. You can literally see the list of players, right? And one thing about Sorare is for every player card, for every player that is on Sorare, right? Let's search for Mbappe now, right? So for every player, you have four different types of cards. Okay, so you have the limited card, you have the rare card, you have the super rare card, and you have the unique card. Alright, so these are the four types of card that you can have. So for limited cards, for Mbappe, for every player, right, you're going to have at least 1,000 of those cards. Okay, then for rare you can only have 100 of those cards. For super rare you can only have 10 of those kind of cards. Then for unique you can only have one of it. Okay, so you can see um how so rare makes like it creates a kind of scarcity which can really drive up the prices of your assets. So let's say, for example, if you're playing fantasy Premier League, there was a time when Salah was like in everything. So Salah was like in high demand. So if you have Salah card, it's going to like really increase in value, right? Because a lot of people want to have him in their teams, right? Meanwhile, in normal fantasy Premier League, if you want to have Salah, you just need to have a free transfer, or you just take a hit, right? Maybe a -4, a -8 points, then you're going to get Salah in. But in so rare, you actually have to get that player from another manager if you don't have that player. So that's what makes so rare very, very interesting and exciting. Right. So like I said, we have four different types of cards, and limited, obviously limited, you have more cards, right? So if we're talking about limited now, so I'm gonna start with the limited. So with the limited, you can have, like I said before, you can have 1,000 of those cards. So you can see this. So obviously you're going to have many cards of it, all right? So it's not really as expensive. Now if you go to the rare now, right? So you can see that the rare price is actually higher than that of the limited, right? So that's how it's going to keep increasing because it is scarce, right? So after we've explained that out of the way, so that's basically what the game is all about. Like you have cards, your card can either be limited, rare, super rare, or unique, or maybe common. All right, I'm going to explain that in a few minutes. So those are the type of cards that we have, and based on the performance of the player, you can choose to hold him. This 81 right here means the point that Mbappe had in his last match. All right, so based on the reward performances, you can actually participate in competitions, and or maybe let's say he's out of form or he's injured, I can actually choose to sell the card, right, to another manager who wants to buy. So that's how Sorare works. All right, and another thing about the cards is the quality of the card you have will determine the competition you can participate in. So if you have a limited card, you can participate in limited competitions, right? If you have a rare card, all right, let's say you have like 3 rare cards, you can participate in rare competitions. If you have a super rare card, you can participate in super rare competitions, and so on. So that's how the game is. So people with super rare cards can participate in super rare competitions. People with rare cards can participate in rare competitions, right? So in the competitions, if you can emerge maybe top 50 or top 100, you're going to get cash rewards. You can get cash rewards in Ethereum, or maybe in, you can give you another limited card or rare card. So these are the kind of bonuses and the prizes that you can win from this game. Okay, so yes. So after having explained that, now I'm gonna explain what happens when you enter the game. So usually when you join the game, right? When you join the game, you are given a set of cards, right? So they will ask you to choose your favorite league. So once you choose your favorite league, you are going to be given players based on that league, all right? So you're going to be given players based on that particular league. So this is my own squad right now. I chose Madrid, which is in La Liga when I joined. So I got mostly La Liga cards. So these are the cards that they gave me, right? So when you join, you are given common cards. All right. I told you we have 4 types of cards. We have limited, rare, super rare, and unique. But when you join, you are given common cards, and you can't really do much with common cards, all right, because you can't sell them. But what you can do with them is you can also use them to participate in competition. Just think of it as the normal fantasy card, all right? You can use them to set up your team, and you can use them to participate in common competitions. I told you limited cards can participate in limited competitions. These common cards can participate in common competitions. Alright, so that's what you can do. You can't sell the common cards. Alright, so these are the cards I was given. So usually in Sorare, normal fantasy, you play normal fantasy, you have to set up a team of 11 players, right? But that's not in Sorare, you only need 5 players to set up a team so that you can participate. So you need 1 goalkeeper, 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, and I think a forward, or 1 midfielder and 2 forwards, right? So the way you can mix the players is different from normal fantasy, and the squad size also is different. All right, so that's exactly what Sorare is all about. So I'm going to show you some of the competitions that exist. So right now I only have a common card, right? So with a common card, I can only participate in common competitions. So let's say I was able to join. There are lots of game weeks. I think in every week there's always 2 game weeks, right? So there's the midweek competition and there's the weekend competition, right? Because they're involved in a lot of leagues. So some leagues will have midweek games, so there are always midweek competitions and weekend competitions. So you can see the countdown to when the game is going to start. Right? So this is the one I joined. I joined the common league because I have common cards. I joined this common league, and you can see the performances of my players. So this is Bellerin. He had 53 points. He had 41 points, and based on their performances in those players, so they are going to add it up. So when they add it up, this is my rank. So you can see that there are a lot of people in this. So let's say my players had a better performance now. Let's say they had a better performance, I would have had higher rank because I have higher points, right? So that's basically how Sorare works. Then you can also see the dream team. You can see the players that have very, very good performances. So let's say I had a limited card of these players, or let's say a rare card. I'll be able to sell them because people are going to be demanding for these informed players, all right? So these are the ways that you can make money from this game. So that's just an introductory video. I'm going to do another video for how you can now start making money. Let's say you want to start acquiring limited, rare cards, all these kind of cards, so you can participate in more competitions, and you can also trade players, to get more money. So that's the next video I'm going to do. So if you have any questions, ask them. Thank you for watching.